Let's get our psychic knuckles crackin'. This week, we're going to be talking about seeing the aura. People sort of think that that's kind of something that some people do and some people don't. But I've found so far in the classes and workshops that I've taught that there isn't anyone that hasn't been able to adapt their vision to see something in the auric field. And some are much better than they would have ever imagined and able to see things quite clearly. So I usually start them off with explaining that we take a diffuse gaze. Sometimes when people work in spirit, they think that they have to physically see something, that clairvoyance is actually seeing something, clairaudience is actually hearing something, almost as if it's physical. And that is possible, but it's not as prevalent as hearing it subliminally or subconsciously and learning to tap into that awareness. As you look at someone, if you want to do an exercise and have someone be your guinea pig, you can have them sit against a white wall or drape a white sheet. I've done it both against black and white backgrounds. It works equally well. So either a black or white sheet. Usually if there's color, it kind of confuses things. You have them sit there and have the lighting soft, not so dim that you can't see them and you start seeing transfiguration, which we'll talk about another time, but soft enough that it's not glaring, so it's kind of relaxing, but clear enough that the background still looks basically white. Just pick a spot around that person, be over 6 inches or so from their ear or something. Just choose one spot. Another place you can look is the middle of the forehead, but you want to do it again with a diffuse focus. You don't want to look at their eyes. And you might ask them to close their eyes so you don't feel as self-conscious and they don't either. What you can do is just kind of stare at that spot for 30, 60 seconds. What's going to happen is you're going to start to think, did I just see red? I think I saw blue. But then you're like trying to adjust your eyes because you think, well, maybe I'm just seeing a halo or something because my eyes are playing tricks on me. But trust what you're seeing. Go ahead and just relax back into it. And again, be careful not to focus your eyes on what you catch because it's our natural instinct. If we see a little bit of motion or we feel a particular shift in energy, for our eyes to follow and look at that thing. So you want to continue to keep your eyes focused either on the forehead or at that particular spot that you're noticing. And you can actually even close your eyes. Some people see better with their eyes shut, oddly enough. Then just trust the colors that you get. If you're having difficulty, you can try alternating your eyes open and then closing them and then opening them again. I think you have a pretty good chance of seeing that happen. If you wanted to see your own aura, you can do that either through a meditative practice or you could do that through the same exercise but with a mirror in front of you. Just kind of be prepared. There's also a technique that they call taking a snapshot of an aura. What you do is you concentrate long enough to see the aura and then you close your eyes. The second that you catch it, then you're going to only see the aura, not the person. You're going to just see the color. There's about 1 or 2 seconds until your photosensitive cells stop vibrating and sending messages to the brain. So if you miss it, you can just start concentrating again. You can test yourself, see what works best for you about closing and opening your eyes. It's really fun, and once you get a little adept at it, you can start doing it when you're in places where you're bored, you're waiting for someone at a table in a restaurant, or you're standing in line or something, and you can start looking and seeing what are they up to. And it's so interesting because the information is there. The general question that people ask about it is, are my eyes playing tricks on me? No, they're not. It's just that you haven't learned to focus your attention that particular way. What's interesting, it's sort of like process of photography, old school photography. It's like you begin to see something and what you see stays in your mind or your understanding. But then as it goes deeper and deeper and as you pick up more and more details, Just like an emulsion photo, it begins to develop so that you have a total image of what you're seeing. The next step that you might take from feeling the colors that are around is to discern what does that emotion mean for you. And you could go online and download any number of guides to interpreting colors. There are books available. Just educate yourself on some of the basic meanings of the colors. I advocate doing it from a spiritually intuitive place where you kind of work with your guides. If you see a yellow, instead of looking at the book and going, this means joy, intuition, clairsentience, gut knowing, that you actually feel what that color means to that person. Because it's interesting to be able to see the color. That in itself is interesting, and people are always fascinated, like, what color am I? But that changes moment to moment, and it changes through the course of our life, depending on what's going on for us. It's sort of like saying, what color are the clouds? Well, it depends on what day. But trusting what you see and developing that will give you a great deal of pleasure. And then as you feel around in people's auric fields, you can start to see if you pick up an image of a symbol. It might not come to you in your eyes. It might be sort of a feeling. Some people sense color. Like I said, some people see color better with their eyes shut. It could also be that you're absorbing information differently. Not everybody takes in psychic information the same way. Whatever method works best for you, that's what you should stick to. There are ways to amplify your aura. There are prayers for cleansing your aura, different meditations for affirming different aspects. And the difference between the chakras and the auras are that aura is us. It's our energy field. It's our being. And as we get close to death, it becomes empty and starts to retract, and the colors start to fade. So don't let your aura fade. Express yourself and get out there and be you. Don't be shy. One thing you can do is meditation. Meditation doesn't have to be about clearing your mind. It can be just disciplining your mind to hold a high vibration and maintain a state of relaxed awareness to where you are able to hold yourself in that receptive state between sleep and wake just a little bit longer each day, and receive information.